Welcome back, everyone. Just a short one before the sun goes down completely. It's been a productive day, and I'm glad to be alive, and I love life. Life is good. Life is wonderful. I've talked about this before, but I want to mention it again. Have we disconnected from reality? We talk about living in the matrix, living in a world that is not real, living in a world that is, like Morpheus said in the Matrix, it's been pulled over our eyes. But did somebody do that to us, or did we willingly walk into the trap? That's what I want to ask. Because of our addiction to the digital world, cyberspace, which is going to get worse in the next few years. I was looking at a program. There's a guy he's like a social media expert, not just about the actual platforms, but where it's going and the effect on people and how people are buying into the new technology. And if I'm making flinchy faces, it's because this bugger's just trying to get into my ear. I don't know. I got a lot to say about that. But he was basically saying that with these glasses now that we're going to have, I forgot what you called them. There's different names people call them, but the virtual glasses that you have over your eyes, and it's like you're in a whole different world. It wraps around and you can see everything in 3D and you're looking at everything. Has life gotten that bad that we have to go for something like that is more appetizing? Sure, it might be a sensory experience, but people are going to be addicted to this thing. And whatever manifestations of that is out now, I hear people are really gone with it. Now, with technology, it may start out very expensive. I remember way back in the day, I'm telling my age, right? When VCRs first came out, and they were like over $1,000, $1,500 back then at first. You had VHS and you had Betamax. I think Betamax was better, but VHS went out because of the format. Something to do technically, but they eventually came down in price. And you can get a VCR at that time at the lowest price for like a little over $100, and then $89 and cheapies, and the technology came down. More people could afford it. When cell phone technology was first out, that was like a status symbol. Like, wow, you have a cell phone. Or we would call it car phones because it was wired up to the car. And then when you had these big clunky flip phones that we would use, it cost a lot of money. You didn't get on there and hang out and talk all day and walk down the street. No, you used it to convey a message to someone. I'm late, or let's talk about this later, or, I'm going to be there at 5 o'clock or whatever. Boom, that's it. Then that technology became so accessible. And then, of course, the cell phone, the smartphone got married to the internet. Now we're walking around. But this whole thing and scrolling is going to be done with soon. Give it another couple years. Once it catches on, we're in trouble. You're going to have people driving with those glasses on. But what I'm saying is that it's going to pull us away from each other even more so. The word humanity will be a thing of the past. We'll be in our own worlds. I'm not saying I love the sun. I love nature. I'm old school. And it's a shame that I have to say that I'm old school and enjoying a simple life. Because I love a simple life. I love a clean, simple life. I love waking up. I love fighting the fatigue a little bit before I go to sleep. I love a good meal. I love to be in digestive bliss. I love to go out on the balcony and just look over the mountains and just enjoy. I love a nice walk and feeling my feet on the ground. I love all of that stuff. I utilize social media and technology, but it has not pulled me in like that. I spend a lot of time off of it. As much as I produce content, I have my system of how I do it. Boom, boom, boom. Get it up, on to the next one, right? And then I do things. Like tomorrow, I'm going to create a lot of content, but I have a lot to do tomorrow other than that, which is like that every day. There's no way I can be on this thing all day long like I see so many people. I'm a creator of content. I think about things that I want to share on a human level. There is no script. Okay, sometimes, I have an article, I write something, but when I get the camera on right here, I'm talking to you. Just like if we bumped into each other on the corner store, the supermarket, the bus stop, wherever. This is how I express myself. I am in touch with myself. I don't want technology to take me out of myself to the point where I'm walking around like a zombie, just walking around. And this thing consumes us, and it hijacks our mind. That's basically what I want to say. And without our mind is a very powerful thing. If it's hijacked like that, it can be manipulated for the purpose of something sinister, because it can't be good. And we walked into this matrix, because I'm not in the matrix. I'm not. I fully know what's happening in the world. I fully know how our minds are being hijacked one by one, or reduced. It doesn't mean totally hijacked. Some will go for it, because we're more in the pursuit of comfort and pleasure. We don't want the pain of sacrifice. We don't want to focus on certain things. We don't read, some of us do, right? But we don't read books anymore. We don't have good conversations anymore. Do people now look forward to having a dinner date? And I'm not talking about a date, a man with the opposite sex, because he's trying to manipulate her into the bedroom. I'm talking about you can have a dinner date with anybody. We're going to sit down, we're going to have dinner, or we're going to sit there for a while. Much to the point where the waiter or waitress is like, man, he's here for a long time. I better be getting a good tip. And when you finish that meal and you push yourself away from the table a little bit, you sit there and you talk and you get deep. You go to the bathroom every now and then, but you come back and you go deep and you feel like you had a real connection. And this is how real things are born and created. Real connection, human vibration, which is hijacked because we're taking the vibration away from the focus on each other, and we're giving it to this thing, and we're not vibing with each other anymore. Yes, wonderful tools they can be as leverage to get certain things done faster, that's repetitious, or something you do over and over again. I get that. I utilize some of these things. But it's like looking over the edge of a tall building. I'm not going to look over so much to the point where the wind blows and it knocks me down. No. There's certain things I refuse to do, right? And I use the computer a lot, the keyboard, but I still take pen and paper, or pen and pencil, and put it to paper and write like that. The whole thing about being able to read. There's no cursive anymore. And they say it's a curse, and I understand that wordplay. But the ability to read, we have become so digital in our thinking that it has taken away the ability to write something on paper with a pen or a pencil, and your handwriting. I'm not saying you, because I'm speaking in general, but I'm going to still say it that way. Your handwriting has gotten terrible. Maybe it wasn't good at all. I'm old school. I take pride in my handwriting. I'm insulted when I sign the credit card paper there, the receipt, and they say sign the receipt. When I sign my name, I take pride in it. Give me that pencil, give me that pen, let me show you how it's done. And I make sure, and always when I go to make a purchase with a card and I have to sign, it's like, oh my God, your handwriting, it's so excellent, because I take pride in that. That's not a brag thing, because my mother used to always make me, not like threaten me or whatever, but practice your handwriting, practice your handwriting. People that don't know you, they see that. And if it's something that is so like your style, it doesn't have to be somebody else's style, but you sign your name, right? It tells the world, anybody who encounters that document, it tells something about you. And you're like, wow, this is pretty good. Some people, they don't know what they're doing. Now, I know the fatigue when you sign mortgage papers and stuff like that, or some purchase that you're doing, a vehicle, you got to keep signing these papers, and every subsequent signature gets sloppier because of the fatigue in your hand, and you just get tired of signing. But you should be so well trained with the pen that doesn't bother you. You just slow down. I'm not rushing this thing, right? That's just the way it is. The human connections that we all should still maintain and fight hard to have. We need that. That's our connection to each other. Look, we have Wi-Fi, invisible signals through the air that you don't see. Humans have the same thing. We don't use those anymore or as much. We're giving our attention down to the phone. We need to focus our attention on each other, vibe with each other, talk with each other, see how we're doing with each other. Like, how are you doing? Not just a blanket statement. How you doing? No. Listen, we're going to take the next 20 minutes. We're going to sit down and talk. But we don't have time no more because we're scrolling. We're hijacked. I believe we would have less suicides, less mass shootings, less depression, which can actually shorten your lifestyle because you don't have a hope to live. Because the human contact has been removed. And we can't see a physical wire from one person to another, but we respond to touch, decent touch. We respond to the hug. There's some people out here that a hug would do them so good. Not just come here and hug me. No. How are you doing? Someone's come here. Let me just hug you. And you feel it. You don't want to really hug anybody who has negative vibrations or deceptive or manipulating you, right? You got to know the difference. And that's a whole other story. But we've lost that, and we're starving for that. And just like I said in the video that I put out last night, especially in America, we're so deficient emotionally in the connection between each other. Yet we have so much money overall in the country, amenities, things to make life easy, the supermarkets and the restaurants and everything is there, and entertainment, paved roads and different things. But then you come to the motherland, in certain parts of the country, there are poor people just the same way there are poor people in America. But the difference is that they have community, they have connection, they're with each other all the time. We don't have that. See, they're rich that way, but we're poor that way. We don't have what they have. When you see the children down the road, and there's certain poor, and who am I to say poor, right? But I have to make the difference somewhere to make you understand. They may not have much money. I've seen the kids, they're kicking around a little ball, a little soccer ball. And it's a ball that is not even inflated properly. It's like it's busted or something. And they're still kicking it and laughing and just having a good time. Some of them barefoot. You see all their teeth, they're laughing. I mean, they're playing the game. They're physical with each other. I see some of the little young boys, and it's nothing twisted. But they'll be walking down the street, and another one will go put his arm around the other one and smile and laugh. They're glad to see their friend. I remember that feeling when I was younger. Did my chores and all the things I had to do, and then on the weekend, okay, you can go out and play when I was young. And I would see my friends, and they would see me. See, human connection. And we didn't even know what game we were going to play. We were just looking at each other and laughing and start hitting on each other. Like we were playing tag, or dodging, and shadow boxing and stuff. That human connection. Now, the life in people's eyes have gone. They're in the matrix. They're in the fake world. You understand where I'm coming from with that? So that's basically what I wanted to say. And it's all good. I try to maintain my human connection with as many people as I possibly can who have good energy. Maintain it any way you can. The best way is face to face, right? If you can connect with people through the internet, fine, but that's a reduced signal because you're not really in front of them. When you have your phone, you have the passcode to put in. Then you have the other phones, like the iPhone and other phones that you can just look into it. There's nothing touching that phone, but it can see something coming from your eyes. It reads you. So what happens when we look at each other? There's something exchanged. You'll think I'm crazy for saying that, but if I said Wi-Fi was fake, you say, no, Wi-Fi is real. It's a signal. And that's a derivative of what we feel as human beings with each other. But we don't realize that. And this thing that we give so much of our essence to is not real. And it's going to be used against us one day. It's going to be used against us. They're making these AI reels on Facebook and on YouTube. And they look real. You can tell. But at first you're like, And now it looks so real, it's engaging. They got the little clips and reels and little short movies, and you watch these things. And I got so caught up in watching this one Facebook reel, and I don't really get caught up in that. But I was laying down, and I had a phone call, and I went on to check my messages, which I'm not on social media as much checking messages, but I went, and this reel popped up, and it was a relationship kind of thing. And I think the young lady caught her boyfriend cheating or whatever, and she was so angry, and she was pointing at him, and it moved so fast that she was pointing with one hand, the other hand was down by her side, and there was another arm that appeared. So they're not like super perfect yet, but they're getting better. And so we'll get influenced with this now because this AI is picking up on us. You know how sometimes they'll say, check this box if you allow AI to be trained by you. When you do an AI banner or a picture, where are they getting these faces from? How do they know to make faces that are so, I mean, the video that I did yesterday about Black American men and African-born women, which I'm here in Ghana, and I was speaking about the differences in the mentality toward dating. And I went out a little earlier, took a walk. I was paying for something up in the market, and I was looking at it. So that's the banner, and I was listening to it, reviewing it to see if there's any point that I missed. And so there was a guy standing next to me to the back, and he's looking down at my phone. He said, "Oh, that is a beautiful woman. I would love to have her as my wife." I said, "She's not real." "Oh, no." So I showed him. I said, "This is not real. This is AI." Whenever you can get a man to almost, there was a little lust there on something fake, that's something dangerous now, right? Very much dangerous. Men and women, they're not relating anymore like they used to. I'm not saying here in the motherland, but I'm saying other places like back in America. And AI is taking the attention. And enough people that I know have sent me to say, "Man, you got to talk about this AI porn." I'm like, I will eventually, but I want to dive deep when I do dive into that, and I'm coming with that one soon. But they're introducing these demonic-looking men with 6-foot organs. I'm gonna keep it decent, and women engaging with them. Like, what is that trying to put in our head to usher us into? Is there a demonic realm? Yes, I know there is. That wants to mate with humans, like it so-called happened before with the fallen angels. And they're preparing us for that. They're manufacturing a certain lust in our mind that we find acceptable. They're training us to accept certain things with this AI world where they're introducing things that are just not humanly possible. Think about it. I definitely want to talk about that, but I'm going to run right now. I'm going to go inside and prepare for Metamorphosis, Brother Neil Frazier. By the time you see this video, we'll probably be finished with that. Thanks for your support. Thanks for being there. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful life. And you have to protect your peace and know how you want to live, the way you want to think. You have to put up boundaries. You have to put up boundaries on your mind too, because there's a lot of wicked things out here to deceive you. It's not just the people, it's the system, right? And I'm serious about that. And this fly doesn't stop trying to get in my ear. Let me get out of here. Anyway, much love to you all. Take care. Salute to my brothers. Much love to my sisters. LanceScurv out. Take care until I see you next. Peace.